Shrug family, this week on Barbell Shrugged, it's me and Mash and Doug Larson, and we're talking about everything that we have going on in our own training, as well as Travis Mash. I hope you guys were paying attention to Sorinex a couple months ago. In the month of April, Travis was in charge of spring cleaning, which was getting thousands and thousands of people around the country, possibly even around the globe, introduced to the clean. 30 days of cleans. He wrote the training program for it, and it was, if you're following him on Instagram, there was like an enormous number of stories that came up of everybody from the beginners to the very experienced to Olympic athletes. Just a ton of people out there learning one of my favorite things to do in the gym, which is cleans. It was very cool, and we talk a lot about it, progressions and pieces along those lines, as well as just where we are at in our training, the cardio conditioning side of things, getting out in nature, really how as we have all aged, I say aged, as we have all gotten older, call it maturity, how we have taken the fitness side and used it in a much more experiential way to do the things that we love that are a little bit more challenging, that had we not spent so many years in the gym and so many years learning about exercise science and physiology to be as healthy as we can, that we would not be able to enjoy life as much as we currently do. As always, friends, make sure you get over to rapidhealthreport.com. That's where Dan Garner and Dr. Andy Galpin are doing a free lab, lifestyle, and performance analysis. And you can access that free report at rapidhealthreport.com. Friends, let's get into the show. Welcome to Barbell Shrugged. I'm Anders Warner, Doug Larson, Coach Travis Mash. Today, the homies are hanging out. Do you know that homies is literally, Mash just showed us his right bicep, his big one. The left side's way smaller than that. Homies is like my favorite word of all time right now. It's like just the bros, the homies. Homies has to have a comeback. Dude, you've had a monstrous 2 months. Everywhere I look, Travis Mash has got 4,000 people in his Instagram stories doing power cleans, squat cleans, just trying to get bars off the ground onto their shoulders in the most efficient way possible. I want to hear how that partnership with Sorinex went, and like just the whole month. It looked like you were stuck in a tornado of awesome.
Yeah, it was big. It was busy, but it was good. It was. I've been wanting to work with Bert forever. And like 3 years ago, it's just the culture. I want to be a part. I want to be a part of what he's doing. And 3 years ago, I wrote him an email saying like, I don't know when. I'm in no hurry, but someday I'd like to work with you guys. And then he started doing it. All started because he partnered with Eccentric, this flywheel company. And when I was doing my master's, I did a lot of research on the flywheel, and so we wanted to do what inevitably we're going to start doing like some courses about the flywheel, about VBT, about all the different things that they sell in that area, and as far as sports science goes. But he wanted to introduce me to his people by doing the spring cleaning. So I wrote the whole, they're famous for the whole Squattober, and then they've done the December, and then recently did the benchuary, I guess. And then the spring
what about
cleaning.
Summer Strong? I feel like that's like their big one.
Yeah, well, Summer Strong is just like where you go party, everybody comes together there. It's at their thing. The other ones are like month-long programs. Somebody writes like, the Squattober is a month-long squat everyday program that one of their guys writes, and then there's the December that another guy writes, and then the benchuary is bench press. So there's a lift that's highlighted, kind of like what we did when we were doing the Super Total, where they highlight one of the elements. And so they wanted me to highlight the clean, which is, I think that was the hardest one because not everybody cleans. Everybody squats and benches and deadlifts, but it went better than we even expected. We got a lot of people saying that they cleaned for the first time or for the first time in forever, and
So wait, they did a month of your program and then showed up in person, and everybody competed or tried to hit PRs all together?
No. So what we did, just a month long on my program, and then online everybody did they maxed out. But then at their Summer Strong, we all came together and just hung out. And then every year at Summer Strong they do a squatting and a deadlift party, and so all of a sudden out of the Just out of the blue, I decided to do it. I hadn't back squatted in a decade, and I hadn't done any deadlifts the whole year because I had hip surgery in January. I had
Yeah.
Yeah.
my other hip replaced, and out of the blue, I decided to do it. And then I did a 550 back squat and a 550 deadlift. All, of course, raw, no equipment, none of that mess.
Yeah.
And it was fun. It
Yeah.
was super fun.
Do you
So,
Wait,
want to
for the
hear us?
audience one more time. Like how old are you right now?
I'm
Yeah.
52, 52.
You're 52. You haven't
Yeah,
back squatted seriously in a
a
decade. You have
decade.
both hips replaced, and you haven't even deadlifted in at least a year, and just
Nope.
went out there and just hit 550.
Yeah, the last time I
Yeah.
back squatted, it was you guys. It was when you guys came to the farm and
And
we did that whole
pulled like 700, 800
yeah,
something that day.
yeah. I
Yeah.
dealt with 700 cold
I remember
and
that.
I squatted like six something that weekend and but I haven't since then. I've done all front squats just because back squat
Yeah.
is a little bit more hip dominant and
Hmm.
it bothered my hips forever, but now it felt great. I mean. And so then
Yeah.
I just decided,
Yeah.
well,
Even
I
the
can
days
do it one more
after,
time.
like after
Yeah,
hitting 550, walking around the
yeah.
next day, you felt fine.
I felt great, man. I felt great. The
Yeah.
only thing that might bother me is my back sometimes, but it's the deadlift. And so like what I've been doing is back in the day, what I would do is I would just keep fighting through it. But instead what I do is I find like I do it off blocks right now and I've slowly taken it down. I find a height that I can do some volume of deadlifting at that doesn't trigger anything. And then slowly I take it down. And as long as it doesn't trigger anything, I take it down. But if I come to a height where I felt, some low back pain, then I'll stay there for a while. But when it goes away, then I take it down a little bit more. Lane Norton, I know watch him do that, and
Hmm.
there's always a range of motion you can lift. You can do the pattern, that doesn't hurt. You just got to find that range of motion and then slowly get back to normal. So
Hmm.
and now
So
Yeah.
and
there.
it all felt good enough for you're thinking about competing here in the near future then, huh?
Yeah, I feel great. I mean, I'm positive right now I could do in the sixes, squatting and deadlifting. And so, but I want, what I want to do is in 6 months, do something to qualify me for a bigger, like a world meet. And then my goal would be seven something squatting, seven something deadlifting, and four something benching. But the key quality is I gotta be physically fit. I want to, Andy always he talked about was it like the 10 attributes of physical fitness. So I'm still going to do cardiovascular work. I'm going to do anaerobic work. I'm going to make sure I'm working in all the planes of motion of movement.
Hmm.
Mobility is going to be key. So far so good. I've never been so healthy. Keeping up my step count. So
Hmm.
yeah, so far
Yeah,
so
man.
good. Yeah.
Man, I know most people are watching this audio only. We don't post the videos these days, but like you come on camera and you're looking lean, you're looking healthy. Like
Yeah.
Yeah,
every
dude.
time I see you, I
Look
go,
good.
damn, Ash is looking good.
My wife likes it too, so I have a younger wife, so
There
try not to
you
bait and
go.
switch. I don't want to be that old guy that everybody's like, look, his wife's gonna leave him soon. No chance. No,
There you
I'll
go.
stay
Uh,
intact.
That's the real motivation
dude,
over
That's the
yeah,
truth
one
of
thing
it.
I
Yeah.
love
there.
about the spring cleaning thing and all the people that were posting videos and you were reposting them all is call this like a maturity event. All the people, some of them move like really, really well and were lifting some big weights, and you could tell some
Yeah.
people were just doing the clean for the first time in their life.
First time.
And
Right.
that was like a younger, meaner, more aggressive Anders Varner with less happiness for other people. Um, I would have been judging so hard on their form and like how.
Oh
And when
yeah.
I was watching all those people, I was so stoked that there was just people jumping with barbells in their hands and trying.
Right.
Like, what an
Just trying.
awesome
Right.
way to get people to just do something for the first time. Like, I'd actually love to know if there was a way of like the number of people that had ever done any Olympic lifting ever in their life, but heard about spring cleaning through Sorinex and they had done like the deadlift one, the squat one, and then saw this one and they're like, dude, I'm giving it a try. And next thing you know, they got 30 days and 150 total cleans in their life or something like that. And I thought it was so cool
Me
seeing the
too.
number of people, almost more than like the monsters that you're always posting, just somebody that was like doing something for inside like the first 10 times in their life. You could just tell. I was like very, very happy how many people were just subtly introduced to like Olympic lifting in a very positive way.
Yeah. Yes. And learning that's, like for most people, when they squat, they're just used to, I gotta push as hard as I can. And like learning that, with the clean, it's not necessarily, it's like a dance.
Yeah.
It's like you're dancing with a barbell, and it's about movement and just looking at things from a different lens, and like how, I was very careful to be positive, because I didn't want to like, be the normal
Yeah.
Olympic coach and be like, oh, that's a shitty technique.
Yeah. It's
I
so
just
hard
wanted to
watch.
wins, small wins.
Dr. Andy Galpin here. As a listener of the show, you've probably heard us talking about the RTA program, which we're all incredibly proud of. It's the culmination of everything Dan Garner and I have learned over more than 2 decades of working with some of the world's most elite performers, award-winning athletes, billionaires, musicians, executives, and frankly, anyone who just wanted to be at their absolute best. RTA is not a normal coaching program. It's not just macros and a workout plan. It's not physique transformation and pre and post pictures. RTA is something completely different. RTA is incredibly comprehensive and designed to uncover your unique molecular signature, find your performance anchors, and solve them permanently. You'll be working with not one person, but rather a full team of elite professionals, each with their own special expertise to maximize precision, accuracy, and effectiveness of your analysis and optimization plan. RTA isn't about treating symptoms or quick fixes. It's about unlocking your full potential and looking, feeling, and performing at your absolute best, physically and mentally, when the stakes are the highest. To learn more, visit aratelab.com. That's ARETE lab.com. Now, back to the show.
It's super hard to watch Olympic lifting and not just go, oh, well, if you just do this, it'll be better. Because all of that really is like, is your own ego saying like, I'm smarter than you. When really the chance to get better at Olympic lifting is because you do it like thousands of times and you screw up so much and you're so bad at the beginning, especially if you didn't play sports when you were growing up and you're just trying to like learn this new cool thing. And to be able to like watch people do something for, like the first time in a concentrated way with like the goal of getting better at something in 30 days it was very, beautiful. Very cool to see all of them.
Yeah, because everything in the gym except weightlifting, there's only one direction. Even like throwers, they're so technical, but it's in one direction. But with weightlifting, you're going up and then on purpose changing direction and going down. And like that's I think that's the hardest thing. If you've always just done traditional, like even you might do a push press or a military press, but it's always concentric one direction. But learning to like, extend and then rip under the barbell, it's such a different pattern. But getting them to click into that it was so much fun.
It takes years before you realize that you're pulling yourself down.
Yeah.
Like things from like the jumping, pulling part to getting under the bar doesn't move. Like that. No. Like when you're like looking at the physics of it and you're a beginner, you're like, how did they do that? Or like even if you like the slow, what company used to, was it Hook Grip that used to post, and then maybe they still do the like super slow-mos of all
they still do
Olympians.
Yeah.
And it's like the bar never moves. It's like these guys that are like 5'5" and the bar doesn't go more than like 2 feet off the ground. It's basically like a deadlift, but they're so fast. You're like, how did they get that to their shoulders? And then you see the jerk and it's like the bar goes 4 inches, but somehow they're underneath it.
It baffles people.
What in the world is happening in this? Like, what is the physics behind this to make it work? And that's like once you've done it 1,000 times, you go, oh, I jump and then I pull. Great, I get it.
Yeah,
and it's so obvious.
It's just up and down, like
999 of them. It's a freaking math it's like some science experiment that just doesn't ever make any sense to anybody until you go, oh, I get it.
And it's the coolest thing in the world then. And when you finally just extend and immediately waste no time but to rip under, and it seems so effortless, and it's
we've talked about it on the show many times, but like I used to love lifting off blocks so much because I never had to pick it up. It was like already there. All I had to do was go under the bar. Like, it's just
move a little bit and go under.
I could get it in the perfect spot right away, and then I just pull myself down. It's cheating. so awesome.
For great
Yeah.
athletes like you, man, like, Ryan, they are always so much better off the blocks because, they understand it's gymnastics. It's not
Yeah.
weightlifting. And so,
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's
totally.
It really
awesome.
is interesting, like when you hit the sweet spot perfectly right, how light it feels just for a moment. It's kind of like if you ever hit a home run, like when you hit a home run, like you don't feel the ball hit the bat almost at all. It's like you just
Right.
blast right through it, and there's like almost no impact, like feeling in your hands, and then you just see the ball sailing away and getting smaller and smaller into the distance. Like I feel like that it's like that when you hit that perfect second pull, like you pull into that like the hip pocket, and the lever arm gets very short, and all of a sudden it gets really light just for a second, and you go, oh fuck,
Yeah.
that felt good, and then
So
you
great.
just rip under.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
a
I
dude,
know.
all
beautiful feeling.
those slow-mo videos you mentioned, I hadn't thought much about hook grip in a while, but like hook grip and all
Yeah.
things gym, those guys both used to post those fucking like super high res, super
I
slow-mos.
love
I
it.
used to love watching those things.
Yeah,
Yeah.
now it's weightlifting house. They do a lot of good videos now, but Hook
Mm,
Grip is still there. It's just there's a few of those companies now. I feel like, but it's
Yeah.
that time. We're starting to get back into the 2028. Yeah, here we go again. Ryan and I
yeah.
competing. A few
Yeah, I
me,
was gonna
Ryan,
ask
and
about
Aaron.
Ryan.
Yeah.
Well,
What's
yeah,
he doing?
what's up with him, dude? He's
He's
leading the charge here to the 2028 Olympics.
he's in great shape, boys. Like he snatched 160 now, 352. For all that don't know kilos,
Ooh.
but he's
God.
in great shape and like. He snatched it with ease. I could see him doing, 170 kilo. And this time he'll be a 77 kilo class. They switched to a little bit. So he's a little heavier. He'll be like, what's that one? What's 77? 80 is 170, like 170 pounds. So it gives him a
Hmm.
little extra. And like, he's looking super strong. And like, he
Yeah.
jerked, Doug, he jerked 220 kilos, 484 pounds the other day.
God.
Like, he's done
Jesus.
some fantastic things. So
What's
like,
he weighing?
he's about yesterday 78, so 1 kilo above that. He's like
Dude,
it's so perfect for him.
when you posted the video
Mm.
or the picture of you and him at Summer Strong, I remember this like 4 years ago when we were talking about it. I was like, he's not a little boy anymore.
No, he's a
He
grown
looks like
man.
a real man now. Like,
He
dude,
is.
his jawline
Yeah,
is looks like he could actually just go fight in the UFC tomorrow if he
yeah,
wanted to as well. Like that dude
yeah.
has a freaking jaw and looks like a there's
Hmm.
like a it's
Yeah, looks like Dan
like a
Henderson.
He
yeah,
looks
there's
like a
like a
killer now. He does.
dude, Dan Henderson. I know what that guy looks like, terrifyingly close. He's the
Yeah.
scariest man in my whole life. I've never been so scared in my life of a single person. I, I feel like I've told you both the story, but that is a terrifying human. That was like
I've
one
seen Randy
length
Couture
away
up
from
front. That
murdering
scared me
me.
too. So
What's that?
Mhm.
Randy Couture looked like I don't know, some kind of morphed something or another.
Yeah. But I
Yeah.
feel like there's like a when you're how old is he now? 26, 25?
No, 23, still young.
20. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the compounding interest on testosterone when you're that age, like
Man.
when you're practicing very high testosterone things like lifting weights around big strong people every day and trying to like mentally be the biggest and baddest dude in the room all the time, your body just like develops into this like thing. And he just
We got a good
looks like
training
that
partner
now.
this time for him. We got that Aaron, the nice that's with him. He's just turned 21 and he's going to be a beast as well. He almost cleaned 220. He almost cleaned 485 at Sorinex. He got 465 easily clean.
Yeah. My
Yeah, he's a
other
beast.
my other
Jeez.
favorite, probably my all-time favorite MASH athlete right now is Tank. First off,
Oh,
Tank.
I can't wait to tell Tank
Second
that.
off, that dude, I think he wakes up in the morning and just like he's gotta squat 405 before like he can do anything. Like he can't, if he's in
He's a
college,
beast.
there's no way he's making it to class without squatting 405 before showing up. Like that guy has
Yeah,
one purpose on this planet,
to
and that is
squat the most.
squat the most weight.
Yeah, so,
I think his femur is like 4 inches long, but
oh yeah.
his body is just designed to squat.
He was put on this earth to squat. He won the Sorinex squat competition, but then the kid Aaron deadlifted 740, and he's a weightlifter. Like he
Oh,
deadlifted like
Jeez.
powerlifting level, and no straps, just regular. He did a hook grip,
Hmm.
740 deadlift, and like destroyed
uh,
everybody. So it
Is
was
he built like a
fun.
weightlifter though? Is he like a long torso, short armed, like
Yeah.
prototypical weightlifter, or like it sounds like a
No,
guy with a short torso and long arms, like the opposite of what you would want to be for a weightlifter if
no.
you're deadlifting 700.
Well, he squats, he squats the 7 too. So he's like, but he
Yeah.
might have
Okay.
a little bit longer arms, but no, he's just incredibly strong. Like
Yeah.
he doesn't have it's not like he locks out at the knee or anything. He's a high lockout. He just is a brute. That's really, but Ryan deadlifts a lot. Ryan deadlifted 600 down there,
Yeah.
weighing nothing. So 170.
Weighing 170.
It
I don't
Yeah.
was,
think
we put
like
on a
What a
just
show.
monster.
saying that number, like that is so much. I don't think I've ever seen anybody in person pull 600.
Oh yeah.
Like
We,
it's
bunch of them
insanity.
did.
Mm.
So
That's
Ryan did, Aaron
insanity.
did. So yeah, it was great. We put on a show.
Even like
Then,
we were talking about AJ before the show. I don't even think I watched AJ pull 600 when he was training with us.
oh yeah, that's
Like
too bad.
I don't
Yeah.
think he ever did because it was like different goal. Like that's the biggest, strongest person I've ever coached. Just of
Yeah.
like raw. I mean, squatted 1,000+ pounds. Like I don't think that even in that time he was doing stuff like that because he was just trying to lose weight.
Oh,
Like
that's too bad.
that's an
Yeah,
insane. I don't think people realize how freaking heavy 600 pounds is.
it
It's
is.
so gnarly.
So I
Yeah.
mean,
We try.
it's all relative.
What are the biggest
Yeah.
pulls you've seen in real life, Travis?
Well,
On
I
just like
did.
a straight regular powerlifting bar, not strongman stuff, but like
Yeah.
powerlifting.
I mean, I deadlifted 804 with a regular Texas powerlifting bar. It's a raw,
With
and
the
it
suit
was
on, not with the suit on, raw.
no a raw.
Yeah.
I did 804 with a regular barbell, and it was in competition. It was the USPF back in the day, but
That's
Ed
another piece
Cohn,
that when
he's
you pull
pulled.
800 pounds, you got to pull it, and it's like a slinky coming off the ground because the bar bends so damn much.
Yeah, those new barbells, can be. Yeah, you can get quite a bit, especially if you
Hmm.
those guys who are really good at sumo, because they can get so much bend that if they have just enough strength to break it free, they've locked it out almost. So that's why the deadlifts have gone through the roof here lately. But I mean, I'm not
Yeah.
hating. Good for them, I guess.
Yeah.
So, but
Dude,
I did mine regular.
I want to dig into you competing these days, which is it's how long's it been since you competitively stood on a platform?
Gosh, man, like a long 2007, we'll say. Like 2007 is when I
Oh,
was done
18
with
years.
WPO. Yep.
Dang.
So
Yeah. I would
it's been a long
imagine
time.
the mindset now is probably almost significantly more enjoyable
Yeah. Oh
process.
yeah. It's way more fun. It's not going to obsess me. I'm not going to be obsessed by it. Like it's fun. Like I look forward to training and I want my kids, really the whole goal is my boys. And my daughter. I want them to see, I don't want to be the dad that says, well, when I was a kid, I used to do X and I want them to see me make good, like I have had zero alcohol. So, I want them to see me make these good decisions to overcome this goal instead of me just saying, well, I used to do this and I used to do that. But here's what I do. You saw it. So now you know what
Big
it
difference.
takes. Right. Right. So that's the whole goal. But I want them to see me do it with balance, still loving them, taking away nothing from my family, still
Hmm.
being in shape, still being able to move. So
Yeah, I
yeah,
Yeah.
mean they already see you train, like you train with them often,
yeah,
but is
often.
that a part of it as well? It's like they can see you compete, but also they see you prepping for the competition in
They
a
see
more
me
serious
prepping.
way than the normal training you already do with them.
Right, and they're seeing me like my nutrition is way more strict already. They're watching me take sleeping way more seriously.
Hmm.
Luckily, being with you guys with rapping, I get to learn a lot. Like I get to hang out with Mike Lane and hear his advice to our athletes, and like I'm taking it. So like he's
Hmm.
giving us the latest on sleep, and that's really helped. Or even just getting to hang around with Chris what's the last name?
Fair?
Perry?
Uh, Barry, yes. That
Mhm.
dude. His work on sleep is outrageous. Like understanding that it's more important to go to bed at the same time and get up at the same time is more important than how much you sleep. And it's key. He's totally right. Is like
Hmm.
Yeah.
locking those times in, it totally messes me up if I don't.
Yeah.
So
I'm feeling it right now, man. I'm freaking Edmonton Oilers are in the Stanley Cup Finals. I'm up till like 11:30 at night. It double
oh
overtime
yeah.
the other day. I woke up no alarm, just sleeping as late as I needed to. Woke up, felt like someone hit me in the head with a baseball bat the night before. Like it, just 2-3 hour difference. It just absolutely destroys you.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I just don't do it. You know, my wife and I just went on our 16th anniversary trip to the beach, and we did everything correct. We worked out the entire time.
Yeah.
You know, still getting in my, like, I'm really digging like endurance now. And like, I'm getting to the point I'm going to start like, you know, adding in running a little bit or rucking. I'm probably going to do more rucking. Like the guy, you know, the older guy that we had on our show, the 70-some-year-old, that dude motivated
Yeah.
the piss out of me. That dude's, I bought his book, you know, yeah.
Buy
So
shoes?
yeah, I haven't bought his shoes yet, but I'm going to. Like, I'm all about it. I want to be healthy. Because I wasn't. I was so, when I competed before, I was, I mean, I watched my nutrition, but you know, sleep was like always disrupted,
Yeah.
and I never really thought about sleep that much. But, you know, I was so grumpy all the time, and, you know, like I cut off friendships, and, you know, I just won't be like that. So I want to know that I
Cardio
can do this
maturity
without
play.
that. Say what?
Cardio is the maturity play. It's like
Yeah.
you don't realize it, and you just feel so much better. I'm like 1 total hour of lifting weights a week, 2 30-minute sessions,
Yeah.
and probably due to muscle memory and just like being wired relatively well, I still get stronger with that little bit. And I don't even know if it's actually stronger, but you increasing the weights and things like that. But it's like you just feel so much better when you're doing
Yeah.
45 minutes of cardio in some capacity on a daily basis. It just it
Hmm.
I think it's like a it's hard. I always think about it as just like I'm just pushing clean blood through my body, and it feels
Right. Yes,
like I
man.
don't have that. Like the last time I got blood drawn, I sat down and she took my blood and she goes, "You've got bright red blood," and I went, "No one's ever said that to me. Is that good?"
I hope
She
that's
goes,
good.
"Yeah." She goes, "Oh no, it's really good. It means you have clean blood," and I went, "Oh great." And I was like, "Wait, what does not clean blood look
Yeah.
like?" She goes, "Some people come in here and they have like white blood, which means they're not moving, they're eating bad food, and it's like
Oh.
it's not red." And I was like,
Oh.
"People have not red blood. Holy crap, that's so gross."
Dude, it
I
makes
was
me
like,
want to cut my
"Who are these
arm real quick and
people? Who
check,
are
you
these
know,
people?
but
Make sure they're not near me. I don't want them
yeah.
these white-blooded people." But she was like, "Yeah, it's like their blood just doesn't filter. It's not clean." And I was like, I didn't know it would actually show up. I thought that was like a totally random thought that I had that I was like, by going out and doing conditioning type things and just moving regularly, that you actually are, you're like cleaning the blood in your body, and
Bro, I love
eating
it.
well matters. And I was like, when she told me that, I was like, this is a real thing. You can't, you got to go flush the blood and get your heart to clean it all out.
Yeah, I mean, I love doing mainly right now. I'm doing this low intensity steady state, but like I want to definitely start adding in more like anaerobic, you know, hard. Like, you know, Andy always talks about it, like, you know, pushing the gas pedal a little bit more. And so I just want to make sure I'm at a firm level of low intensity, which I feel like I am now. So like my resting heart rate is lower than it's been. Like I'm normally
What is
around
it?
58, which is pretty good for me. You know, it's
Oh
not
boy.
like
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not.
It's
It's
great.
not in the 40s or anything like some of the fighters, but it's lower. Like when I tell you what, like when we went to Oklahoma and I was such out of shape. That's really what triggered it too. Like I was like, man, I can't keep up with these guys. I was so mad. But right then it was in the high 60s. It was bad. And I was so stressed from being back in school, and so. But I feel like
Yeah.
now I could get a little bit
Do
lower.
you wear an Oura ring, or do you track your sleep at all?
I got my Garmin. I wear my Garmin.
Does that one do your breath rate?
Yeah, yeah, does my breath rate. So
What is that number?
normally 13. So
That's
pretty
fine.
good.
Good.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
okay. So
Yeah.
I'm doing more and more breath work too. Like one of our, you know, Ben Johns, the pickleball player, like he and I
Hmm.
compete to see who does breath work more often. So I tired him this week. So tired him. Finally, he he's
Travis
competitive.
Bash back squats 1,000 plus pounds competing with a pickleball player.
Dude, he's the coolest dude in
He's the
the
man.
that's my favorite athlete maybe
He's
of all
about to be our,
time.
our first real sponsored athlete here soon.
I love that guy. He
Our
is.
first guy.
Oh, really? Well, he's the best one we could have chose. He is so compliant. He does everything, and he
Everything.
loves to lift. Like he sends me videos of him doing cleans, and like normally I don't even have our athletes do cleans, but he likes it. So I was like, all right, we'll do it. And like
Yeah.
he's getting
Yeah.
better. He's doing some making. He needs to be able to protract more so he can so he can shoulder the barbell better, and like he does everything we say. He's such a good dude. But then now,
Yeah.
yeah, we
Yeah.
started compete about breath work. But he was beating me finally I tied him this week. So,
Oh
so
yeah,
Awesome.
yeah. Everybody here loves him. Just nothing but good things to say about that guy.
yeah, he's the
Yo,
best.
as far as the rucking goes, dude, I'm totally on board with rucking now as well. It's like I always try to go hiking in the summertime, especially because I grew up in the Pacific Northwest in Oregon and Washington, where
Yeah.
it's beautiful. And so I always go back and visit my parents and my brother, and I always try to get some hikes in. And then this year we're going to Yosemite, and we got permits to hike Half Dome as well. So I've been rucking lately because we're hiking Half Dome, and then we also got permits to summit Mount St. Helens in July. And so I've been,
No
going on
way.
rucks
Oh,
on at a minimum on the weekends, for a couple hours. And in addition to just like the physical prep to do some bigger hikes, I found it to be like incredibly peaceful to like go for a 2+ hour long hike. And then along the way, like I typically don't listen to music or audiobooks or anything. I typically take my headphones out of my head and put
same.
them in my
I've been
pocket
doing
for
the
a little
same
while.
thing. Right.
And yeah, anything though, like I'll just brain dump while I'm out there. I'll
Yeah.
have like an open Google Doc and I'll just dictate notes into my phone, and I can just brain dump every area of my life and just make this long, completely unorganized list. And then I'm like totally prepared for my entire week. That way, when I start my day Monday morning, like all my thoughts are already documented in a very simple way and like a very stress-free
Right.
way. Because I got 2 hours just to, as thoughts come to me,
And
just
to be in
dictate them into my
nature
phone.
and the
Yeah.
sunlight and nature, totally
Oh
agree.
yeah, I'm at Shelby Farms Park here in Memphis, which is an enormous city park that has 18 lakes. Like it's a big place, and so I'm just like in a beautiful spot for the entire time. I'm hiking on actual trails, and I found to be, in addition to all the physical benefits, just incredibly good for my kind of my mental spiritual health, so to speak. Because it's like it just gives me time to just relax,
How heavy
so
of
to
a
speak,
ruck
like
do you?
beyond just training.
What
Yeah.
size? Like, how much do you add to the ruck? Like what?
Oh, it's not crazy. It's like 30 pounds.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just thinking
Yeah.
about where to start with it. Like, yeah, I think I might start even lighter. Just so like, I just want to add a little bit of, but I don't want to run per se because I don't think I'm skilled enough. Because Andy talks a lot about like sometimes the worst decision you can make is about, I'm going to go out and start running, and you don't have a gait, and I know my gait is not awesome anymore, and so I was
Yeah.
thinking about keeping a foot on the ground was probably the wiser thing, but I think with
Yeah.
rucking. I can start to add a little bit more, intensity to my cardio, but and like without getting hurt. I do like
I think it's a more
rowing though.
profitable. I do
Uh,
think it's a more profitable decision for you. Like
yeah,
given your history and your body type and your recent hip replacements, et cetera. It's like running
right,
will give you some cardiovascular benefits and there's upside there, but also I do think it'll just beat you up and it's unnecessary for you
right,
specifically to go run, to go
right,
jogging. Just put a pack on, go ruck. It's better on your body.
right.
You still get many similar benefits, even if the cardio side of it really isn't as intense. You can handle that in other ways.
Sure. I think I might do some like hill sprints, but that would be the
Yeah,
only running I would per se do. It's safer. It keeps you, it's when you get upright, you run the risk of that hamstring blowing. I'm not trying to do any of
sure.
that. So I'm trying to be super wise using velocity too. Like, and I really stick to my cutoffs. Back in the day, like I'm just, I might tell myself work up to a 3 RM, 8 RPE, but it's going to be a max out. But now I'm very strict on my cutoff, my velocity cutoffs. So if I say point 0.4, it's point 0.4 it is. And it's kept me, I have had zero misses so far since I've been back. And I'm still climbing nice and steady. Like now I don't know if I'm maxed now, it would definitely be in the sixes on both deadlifting and squatting, but so it's definitely coming. No doubt I'll be in the sevens. Just how far is be key, you know. And then my wife, I do question one thing. Look, when I do this thing, and if I do get to 7, 4, and 7, am I going to say, well, what if I get to 750, 450? You know, will it
Uh-huh.
start again? I hope not. Yeah, I know this. Here's what I know is if it interrupts my family or my time with my friends, it'll be a hard stop. That I do know. Like I
I
won't
think that going into
compromise.
these things with like appreciation changes that. You're
Yeah.
doing it to like, you're not doing it for numbers.
No. Or to prove.
That's the main difference of it is you just go,
Right.
it's actually like one of the things that stops me from doing an enormous number of like weightlifting things is I just like the other day I had like so I was down in Cancun like a month ago with Brian, the guy that owned the gym with me.
Yeah.
And it was actually so awesome just because we talked about like how much we've progressed and you sit down with somebody for like 3 days and you just actually get through all of it versus like a phone call for an hour or podcast or whatever.
No doubt.
And I got back and I was doing flat bench dumbbells and I texted him as soon as I left the gym and I went, "Hey bud, after hanging out with you, I think that was the last day I'm pressing the hundreds, man. Like there's just no ROI anymore for me waking up in the morning at 6:30 a.m.
Yeah.
with no warm up, pushing 100-pound dumbbells for 8. Like that's like an ego thing in the morning that I do all the time. And I'm like, and he goes, "Oh yeah, I'm like on the 80s now, man." He's like, he's like slow, full range of motion, make sure I'm doing everything I need to do
Yeah.
the right way. Like there's just no need. And I couldn't even if it's like I couldn't even imagine going back and doing a CrossFit competition or something like that because I just know I'd get
Yeah.
hurt. I just
Oh
know
yeah.
that something would
Yeah.
happen, like some kipping pull-up thing, and I would just go, that was so dumb. Or I would, in the middle of the event, I'd just pull myself and go, "Hey guys, I'm out. Like I'm not doing this. My shoulder
Yeah.
clicked. It's just not happening."
Oh yeah, I'm
Yeah.
definitely. That's why I'm using the velocity. Like I don't want to come anywhere near. And
Yeah.
if I start to feel that elbow pain or knee pain, I'm not going to ignore it because that's me. That's my body saying I'm about to snap. So I'm not going to
Yeah.
ignore any of those things. So I'm going to be wise.
Yeah,
So,
most of my big lifts are like velocity based these days. If I'm front squatting and deadlifting at some level, I'm doing velocity based training, even if I don't have some type of device hooked up to the bar telling me my exact meters per second. But most of my big lifts are velocity based, and then as you guys know, like a lot of my training these days is really just trying to stay as healthy as possible for jujitsu. I just want to be able to go
right.
to jujitsu, have my body not hurt, and be able to like be confident I can go to the next practice because I didn't ding myself up in one way or another. So for all my assistance work, there's a lot of like 15 RMs with
Sure.
one rep in reserve in my life right now. It's like the majority of my sessions are relatively light these days.
Well, it's
And
still
actually
great
like
hypertrophy. It's still the same hypertrophy you're going to get doing five. So it's great.
yeah. Dude, it's been
Yeah.
great. I've actually responded very well to it. Like, I feel fortunate to say like that. A lot of people like coming up to me, like commenting on how like I look like I'm stronger or am more jacked than last time they saw me. Like I've like, made a tangible difference in my physique, doing higher reps, over the last, probably at least
Yes.
a year now.
And for jujitsu,
Yeah.
isn't that more important, muscular endurance, than being like per se strong for 5 reps? Because it's not the way jujitsu works. Like it's endurance, it's a muscular endurance sport. And so I feel like that
Yeah.
makes way more sense. Sure,
Yeah, and,
doing a
and
little bit of
typically
explosion.
maximum strength is not the constraint in the system to your progression in
No,
jiu-jitsu.
right.
So if you put 30 pounds on your max, like your jiu-jitsu doesn't really change that much.
Not at all,
Not
man.
really.
No,
Yeah.
no, no. Those dudes like look at Royce Gracie. Like he didn't look, he was not strong. He's not going to win, but he's going to beat my ass, because he's going to he's going to wear me down and put me in some kind of like chokehold before I know it, like some kind of python. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
man, no, it's not the win all. But yeah,
You guys were talking about all the cardio and the rucking. I just want to let you guys know if you want to come hang out with me at 6:30 in the morning and go chop a bunch of trees
I
down,
do want to do that with you.
that
Yeah.
is
Yes.
the spot that has replaced all of the cardio in my life these days. Just
My wife
grab
was telling me she's
go
been
hang
watching
around.
your videos, cutting down. Are you building your own log cabin?
Yeah.
How close? I mean, how long is this going to take you?
Once I get all the trees chopped down, it's not that bad. It's been like a giant progression. So when I moved here, there's a giant woodshed that I
This
need to
is
go
great.
fill. And I
Yeah.
was like, I could go grab the chainsaw and go do it, but that sounds like I'm not going to be working out that much or like confronting nature in a very raw way. So I just grabbed an axe and started chopping trees down. So I chopped down like 400 foot of tree uh,
With an axe,
with an axe,
not a chainsaw.
and then cut it all into like 2 foot logs with an axe, and then chopped it into, and then split it 4 ways with an axe. And I filled the whole thing up. So like chopped down like 400-ish foot trees.
That's what
Uh,
Doug needs to come. That's some Rocky Balboa stuff right there.
and
Yeah.
then from
No, I'll be out
there,
there. I'll be out there in like 2 weeks. We're gonna do it.
yeah. And then from there, Ash
Nice.
wanted me to make flower beds and like vegetable gardens, like made out of logs. So I just started chopping them down and like notching them together. And
Dude,
then
this
that
is
was
awesome.
cool. And then if you do this enough, you find yourself on YouTube watching people out in the middle of the woods making log cabins to sleep and camp in. And I was like, I want a log cabin that I can go camping with the kids in out in the middle of the woods. And so I started chopping 10-foot
Yeah, I know.
logs.
So
And
that's you're
then,
gonna build your log cabin from YouTube.
yeah.
Wow.
Um,
That's the
so
most
I
badass
have
thing I
probably
ever heard
like
of.
300 foot of tree that is already chopped down and like the bark is shaved off. And I probably have like 300 foot of tree to go. And then I can just start stacking them together and notching the wood out. And but it's all by hand. Like the badass part is that you lay a tree down and then you cut it into 10-foot long lengths. And then you got to go clean a tree, like get it off the ground and stand it up and move it by yourself. That's hard.
Bro, that's some pilgrim stuff right there.
It's
That's
really hard. Like
right.
it totally absorbs all of my energy. It's awesome. It's so much fun.
I would rather do something like that as opposed to like, that's where I want my cardio to progress to. Is just work,
Yeah.
working, being in nature.
Well,
Like,
uh that's an enormous amount of just if you're doing the just like working, you're doing the cardio. Like if you're working hard,
yeah, your cardio. Yeah.
yeah, you're doing it.
Yeah.
Uh
That's why people
but
lived a long time back in the day because they were working. Like my grandfather lived to be 96 because he worked hard.
yeah, you showed up every day and had to go do stuff.
Had to walk, had to work. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now we sit at this little desk. If we don't, we're all gonna die. We're just gonna be sitting here, getting fat. Yeah, stressed out.
Yeah.
Not gonna do it. So I like being able to communicate and do things, teach people with what we do, but also I want to be healthy. I want my kids to see me being healthy too. That's the key. I want them to
Yeah.
see me
What have you
committing to
changed
goals.
your diet at all getting prepped
Oh
for this
yeah. Oh yeah. My whole family is super strict now. Like when I say super strict, like, we've never been in one where you're not going to find like Coke or anything, obviously. Like it's never been a thing. But even more now, it's just water. And now I've started doing no dairy too. So like my one weakness would have been ice cream, but of late I decided to cut out dairy just because I feel like I kept having allergy issues. I'm just trying, and like and my wife suggested it. I didn't want to do it, but I didn't want her to be right, but it helped. And so now I'm like, dang it. So I guess no dairy, but no, as a family, and we go on walks together. We all work out together. All my kids now are doing, weightlifting.
Yeah.
And so it's been a more of a family thing than anything. So it's going the exact direction I want it to go.
Yeah, it's
So
awesome.
yeah, we go on a family walk every day. I love it. I come home, we all walk to there's a spot in the lake that we walk to, and they swim. The kids will get in the water a little bit. It's just great.
Yeah.
Love it. Yeah, I want to stay
My
that way.
my kids aren't there yet. I was along with the frustrations of it, I'll tell you the cool parts of it. I have my little dude just started jujitsu.
Oh yeah,
It's like the first. I'm very excited about it for many reasons that nobody on the show cares about. Of having just like an aggressive little 4-year-old.
I
But I'm
mean,
very stoked for him to
yeah,
I feel like that is one of the disciplines in life that is just like it serves so many awesome purposes
right.
of winning and losing and
do
Realizing
you,
that actions also have consequences.
right?
Do the right thing, you might win, and if you do the wrong thing, you're guaranteed to lose in a bad
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
And just like, I think that I was actually talking to a buddy, now I call him a buddy, down in Costa Rica, this past weekend of just like there's like a physiological state of like looking somebody in the eye and saying like, we're going to go figure out who wins right now.
Right.
And like a lot of sports have that, but I don't think any of them have that to the degree that like jujitsu has it. It's like,
Or wrestling,
end
that
of the day,
one-on-one.
it's going to choke
It's
the
you
other
versus the
person
person.
out.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, man.
Like if
I
you
love
win
it.
a battle in hockey, you might end up in a fight, but most likely it's just like you hit someone really hard and they go, "Oh, that hurt." Like
Yeah. Yeah.
jiu-jitsu, the winner chokes the other person out or breaks their arm. Like
Yeah.
that's a very decisive victory. It's not like a question on who actually got there.
Yeah, the
that is
idea of
quite clear.
we're going to do this until one of us admits defeat
Yeah.
is interesting. Not just like you scored some. I mean, there are points in jujitsu and in non-submission only competitions, but the essence of jujitsu is we're going to do this until one of us says you win. I agree, you did it.
You
Yeah.
did it.
I'm out.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. It's so, what a great moment for us as fathers to be able to put our arm around the son and like say, now what? So you got beat. How does it make you feel? What do you intend on
Yeah.
doing about it? Would you rather not be in this position? No, of course
Yeah.
you don't want to be. So like, what are you going to do about it?
Yeah.
It's
And
great.
there's many parts where I'm like dying. I'm pushing Adelaide probably more than I should on doing it. One, there's like the self-defense side of it.
Yeah.
But also like she does dance and gymnastics right now, which I'm like very cool with when it comes to like understanding how your body moves and all of that. But where's the losing part? There's no losing in those sports.
Yeah.
It's just you go practice the skills.
Right.
And I'm very excited about. I never had any jujitsu or any of that stuff in my life, so I'm like very, very stoked for them.
Me too.
Travis Bash, where can the people find you?
Mashelite.com is you check out my new website. We got a lot of cool new offerings on there.
Oh, I'm gonna go to that right now. Mashelite.com.
Mashelite.com.
That's where you go get Super Jack. Doug Larson.
You bet. I'm on Instagram, Douglas E. Larson.
And I am Anders Varner at Anders Varner, and we are Barbell Shrugged, Barbell_Shrugged, and you can watch a free lab lifestyle and performance analysis by Dr. Andy Galpin and Dan Garner. You can access that free report at rapidhealthreport.com. Friends, we'll see you guys next week.